Hello and welcome to Digital Board Game Labs, wherein we explore the possibilities found in digital board gaming. My name is Alexi, and today we'll be covering a topic that admittedly isn't the most exciting thing in Tabletop Simulator, but I think it's a topic that is often pushed aside because a lot of people just take it for granted. But for newcomers to the software, those who are not used to more creative tools like this in their computer, I think it is a big stumbling block if they can't get used to it, and that's why I think it's going to be very important to cover in one of our videos. And that is camera movement. Now, the thing you need to realize about Tabletop Simulator is the fact that it is actually a 3D program. What that means is you're actually navigating this digital camera around the environment of the software in order to actually be able to effectively use it. Not a lot of people are used to using 3D software, and that's simply because most software out there are actually 2D, like image editors, word processors, they're all just 2D. And so having to manipulate this digital camera around is not the most intuitive thing in the world. So how do you actually control your camera within Tabletop Simulator? So let's jump right into Tabletop Simulator, and I have a meeple at the center of the table just as a focal point so that we can practice our camera movements. And the first camera movement I'd like to talk about would be the pan. So panning around your camera basically means a translation of the camera left, right, up, and down. And you can easily achieve that by using your keyboard, using the WASD keys. For those who play video games, especially first-person shooters in their computer, these keys will be very familiar. So W will allow you to move your camera up, A will move your camera left, S will move your camera down, and D will move your camera right. So again, W, up, A, left, S, down, and D, right. And that's your basic panning movement. However, there is a better way, in my opinion, to move your camera around in Tabletop Simulator, which is by using your mouse. Now, when using Tabletop Simulator, I highly recommend that you use a 3-button mouse. You could use a trackpad, you could use a trackball if you'd like, but I think using a mouse is just the simplest way to go about it, so I highly recommend you use a mouse if you can. So how do you pan the camera using your mouse? It's very simple. You click on your middle mouse button, hold it, and then just drag around the screen. Again, middle mouse button, click and hold, and then drag around on the screen. Much like you would, I guess, using your mobile device like your phone or your tablet. That's really how you pan around, by holding and then just moving your finger around. It's pretty much the same thing in Tabletop Simulator with your mouse. It's just by using the middle mouse button. Now, the second camera movement you'll want to use will be the zoom. Thankfully, zooming is very, very easy and is simply done by using your scroll wheel. And other people's mice or mouses, I'm not really sure, your scroll wheel might be your middle mouse button as well. So just take note of that in case you are a little confused as to how many buttons your mouse actually has. So all you need to do to zoom in is to scroll up, and then to zoom out, you just need to scroll down. Again, scroll up to zoom in, and scroll down to zoom out. And there you go. That's all there is to actually zooming in and out. Last but not least, of course, is pivoting your camera around a center point. So how you do that, again with your mouse, is using your right-click button. So right-click anywhere on the table, hold, and then drag around in order to actually move your camera around a center point. Again, right mouse button, hold, and then move and drag your mouse around, and that will allow you to pivot around a certain point. Now, using all three of these camera movements in conjunction will take some getting used to, especially if it's your first time using a 3D software. But rest assured that everything's going to be worth it, and your muscle memory will eventually kick in, and it'll be second nature in no time. So again, middle mouse button will allow you to pan around, your scroll wheel will allow you to zoom in and out, and your right mouse button will allow you to spin around a central point. And then if you, for example, have your camera in a weird angle like this, and you just want to reset everything, then all you need to do is press the space bar on your keyboard, and it'll reset your camera to its default position around the table. If you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can actually use your WASD keys in conjunction with your mouse to create some freaky and fancy camera movement, as I'm showing you right now. I actually personally don't use that myself, but it's good to know that you can actually do that. And for more advanced users, you can actually save the position of your camera around the table by using some hotkeys on your keyboard. In order to do this, all you need to do is position your camera first, and then when you're happy with how it's actually placed, you need to hold Control on your keyboard and press one of the number keys on your keyboard. So for our example, we'll just use the number 1. All right, and that saves your camera. In fact, you can even save multiple camera positions if you really want to. So let's save another one right here maybe. So hold Control, press 2, save to camera 2, and then maybe we'll do a third more for good measure, the back of the meeple right here. Hold Control, press a number on your keypad, which is 3 in our case, and there you go. And you can move your camera around, reset it with the space bar. And in order to call those saved positions that you just set, all you need to do is press Shift and then press on the number key that you set that camera to earlier. So let's do Shift 1. There you go. There's our camera 1. Shift 2, our camera 2, and Shift 3, our camera 3. And for those of you wondering, yes, indeed, those camera positions are preserved once you save your game. So let's try that right now. Let's load our game and see if Shift 1 still does the thing, Shift 2, and Shift 3. Fantastic. And that's really, really good news to more veteran users of TTS, because that camera position saving only just happened a couple of weeks ago during their latest update. And there you go. That's all you need to know about moving the camera around in TTS. That way you can manipulate and look at your components properly and be able to enjoy your digital gaming as much as possible. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this kind of content in the future. I also have a Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram, and all of those relevant links in the description below. Thanks so much for joining me, and don't forget to have fun gaming digitally.